Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown. Here comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. Welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast on an eve of what will be a huge game for the Eagles tomorrow as the Eagles take on the Dolphins. Joey Shakes, my man, what is going on with you? How are you?
I am doing good. I'm getting prepared for tomorrow, and obviously a big game for the Eagles after an embarrassing loss last week, and got to see what these guys are made of and see what they bring to the table this week. So I'm very excited to see what happens.
Yeah, me too, man. What is going on, everybody? I see Bleeding Kelly Green's here. DB Cooper, Eagles Nation. Hey, DB Cooper, where's the money? Eagles has landed. Donnie, Danny, Sydney, family, Lons. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Nordo, Joel, Joseph, Mayday, and anybody I missed, Philly Nation 307. I see, of course, the Phillies are playing as we're doing this live stream. It seems like every time I'm getting ready to put a video out, a stream, the Phillies are playing. And it is what it is, but we do have the score up. Phillies got 2 men on, 1 out, top of the first. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, they blew yesterday's game. I'm sorry, dude. Okay, look, like game 3. Okay, I get it. You're up 2-0 game 3, but yesterday you have 3 runs in the set. You're winning 3 runs by 3 runs in the 7th inning. You got to win that game. You have to win that game.
Yeah, they got to get it.
If they win tonight, they're fine. Everything's fine. But yeah, it is what it is. They definitely need a win tonight. Now, as far as our birds go, man, it was an interesting week to say the least, right? Julio Jones is a Philadelphia Eagle. How crazy is that?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, it was surprising, definitely, because I think the last thing we were thinking about was a wide receiver. But really, when it went to like Monday, Tuesday, I'm wondering why. I guess, Quez Watkins obviously on IR now, and maybe it's sounding like, even from what Julio Jones even said at at his little interview, like maybe there's more to it than him. Maybe it's not. It's more than being a depth piece. Maybe they're trying to get a mismatch at that slot position, which I think, in my opinion, I think Julio is a good mismatch. He's been on 4 teams in 4 years. He's 33, 34 years old. So he's not going to be the focal point of this offense. But could he actually help? I think there's some good things to take from it. Not the move we wanted, but something to improve the offense.
I guess the question I have is this. Is 60% Julio Jones, which I'm hoping he's at 60% from what he was, because you're not getting Julio Jones Hall of Fame. You're not getting that guy. But is he at 60%, 50% better than Quez Watkins and Oz? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, it's
I
don't know.
And here's the other thing. If you didn't get Julio Jones, you'd have to still go out and get a receiver. Is a guy like Jerry Jeudy, a guy like that, Hunter Renfrow, would they have been better options?
They could have. They didn't wait. They pulled the trigger on it. There might have been, maybe they may have talked to other teams about Renfrow, maybe Jeudy, maybe they wanted too much for Jeudy. I don't know. We'll see. But
do you think? Also, here's one other thing. Do you think because of the red zone problems, they looked at him as somebody to bring in to maybe help in that situation?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I think, I thought it was, I don't think it was a panic move, but I feel like when the Devontae Smith injury stuff was going on this week, I figured they signed him for a specific reason, that he plays on the outside of Devontae's. I didn't think Devontae Smith was going to play this week. Early in the week, I thought like there was something, he had the hamstring, he had the compression sleeve on his right leg. So I was getting a little nervous, but I don't think it was because of Devontae Smith. I think they legit just want another weapon, and they want a mismatch, because I don't think Zacchaeus might not be enough for this offense to really do anything.
Right.
So
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting what Julio Jones we base it. Sorry. Come on, Schwarber scores.
Make sure the volume's down.
Yeah. Oh God.
Make sure it's at 0.
You
You're
know,
checking too.
it sucks, dude, because I want to stream this so bad,
I
but
know.
I'm just so scared, you know. But Phil's up 1-0. Just to update. Yeah. So Julio Jones was a very interesting, very interesting situation. Troy says, "Hey guys, I'm in Jersey for a wedding tomorrow, but I was in Philly today. City is covered in Kelly green, red and white. That's awesome, man." We're going to talk about the Kelly green a little bit later for sure. Now, the big news today, which to me really isn't big news because for us content creators, I mean, at least me and you, I know we've been talking about this for about a week now. It's kind of late to come out, but the Eagles are reportedly making calls feverishly to try to get a safety. I think that's the most likely scenario. I do believe these rumors to be true, by the way. I think they are.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, kind of looking like really since they even lost, the Jets lost, it really started on Monday morning when it was reported that they were, really scourging out to the league and seeing who's available. And obviously, we'll talk. We'll leave it to you to talk about specific player. But I think safety is the number one move, no doubt.
Philly score another run.
Nice.
They try to steal second. They're going to throw him out. Guy gets caught up. They go back home. And the pitch, the throw home is dropped 2-0.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. So that's come on, change the score. There you go. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now, Jeremy Chin's off the board, though, right? I mean, we could agree with that. He's pretty much off the board at this point. You can't bring Jeremy Chin in. He's going to miss 6 weeks of football.
Can't afford that. Not right now.
Yeah, exactly. The catcher took a shot, by the way. He's all Bryce Harper just gave him a beating. KJ Smith, David Super Chat goes, fun facts. The Dolphins have beaten the 2-3 Chargers, 1-5 Patriots, 1-5 Giants, 1-5 Broncos, 0-6 Panthers, and they haven't beaten any good teams.
True.
I gotta tell you, I hate that statistic, right? Because I think back to us last year when it was like, well, the Eagles haven't beaten anybody. You haven't beaten anybody. Dude, when you're putting up 70 points on teams and you can score like that, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
I do not look at the Dolphins and say, yeah, they're not as good as we think.
Yeah.
Because of the people they played. I mean, they beat the crap out of people.
But it's a week-to-week league, dude. It's like, they score 70 on the Broncos. They get killed by the Bills. Then they face the Giants. They didn't even look great against the Giants. The Giants were running the ball. They scored 30 on the Giants, but Tua made a couple. He made a couple bad throws, and I thought he made some mistakes when there was some pressure on him. I think it comes down to the trenches, man. It's really the trenches this week. I didn't really like what Brian Johnson said this week. I'm still like not, I'm going to support and do what I can. But at this point, like Brian Johnson talked about the pass run ratio and why they passed, 45 times to get the run game. I don't get what, I don't know if he's just not saying, he doesn't want to say too much or whatever, but it's crazy.
Yeah, we'll see. John says, 500, you think will be Byard or Simmons at safety? Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think your top 3 candidates of safety, right, are probably Byard, and in no order, Byard, Baker, or Simmons, right? It's got to be one of those 3 guys, I would assume, right?
I say Harrison Smith could be another one.
Harrison Smith would be an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, the only one thing about Budda Baker I wonder is do the Eagles and Cardinals, or will they even do business at this point in time?
We don't really know the truth to all this. If Jonathan Gannon isn't the GM, like if the organization feels like they need to make a move or trade, or they want to get rid of a player and they can get some value from a trade, I don't see why they're going to back away and burn bridges just because of Jonathan Gannon's connection to the Eagles. I think it's ridiculous, but it's what's good for the organization, not Jonathan Gannon's personal issues with the Eagles. So,
yeah, I hear you. I don't know what to think. I think there's way more to the whole Gannon thing that happened than we're led to believe.
Hmm.
So I don't know if there's bad blood with those organizations. Did you hear the rumor that the Cowboys are talking to Arizona about Ertz?
No, I didn't hear
How
it.
crazy would that be? Zach Ertz in a Cowboy uniform. See, that would bother me. That kind of bothers me if that would happen. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Yeah. So I mean, do you think, and I asked this in my channel membership video, I'll ask you, do you think that this game, win or lose one way or the other, do you think that determines whether the Eagles will make a move or not? We've got no Reed Blankenship tomorrow. But if the Eagles lose, are they more likely to make a trade or are they less likely to make a trade?
No, I think they're going to make a trade regardless because I mean Terrell Edmonds just ain't it, and Justin Evans is on IR. I mean you need somebody. I mean, look, if you go out and get a Kevin Byard, I mean he's got 2 years left on his deal right now. I mean his cap numbers are against the cap. It's ridiculous.
4 million this year. 4 million.
That's
year.
just. I think that's 4 million this year. I mean, unless over the cap is wrong. Unless it's wrong.
I read they redid his contract in the off season. I think they gave him more guaranteed money. So he's only $4 million this year against the cap. I'm not sure what it is next year. This year it's $4 million. Now that $4 million may not even be $4 million since he's played 5 weeks with
it went down.
6 weeks. So it'll go down even more. So he wouldn't be a problem. I don't even think anybody really is a problem at this point if you really want somebody. Even when you look at a guy like Derrick Henry, right? He was 16 million against the cap. I think if you trade for him, it's about 8.5 million against the cap.
This isn't bad.
No, so because of the deadline, it goes down. But Byard wouldn't be expensive. I wonder about the Cardinals and Budda Baker because I feel like they wrapped him up and put him on the shelf so that he would be ready by the trade deadline.
Yeah, the random hamstring injuries, but the Kevin Byard thing is, I think he could be. I think if the Eagles are trading for Byard, I think he might be a long-term piece. It might be. I mean, I think you keep him for 2 years at least.
Do you think he's the most likely out of every player?
I think since Chin has been gone, I think Chin would have been a lot cheaper because Chin hasn't really played that much this year, a lot either. So I think, but the thing is, like, it depends what the Titans are doing. If they're really imploding at this point, we know Denver is. We know the Panthers are going to make trades. They don't have a first-round pick next year, but the Titans haven't really pulled the trigger on that. They're restarting, rebuilding, but they're going to sooner. I mean, it's going to happen this year. They're not a good team. You have a 29, you want to give a 29, 30-year-old running back right now 20-plus carries just to win football games. You got no quarterback. You don't have a good offensive line. So we're just waiting for them to kind of break. I think with another loss or maybe if they lose another game, it could help them break. And Kevin Byard might change his mind. He might talk to his agent and say, hey, let's try to get something done. He might want to change his mind and go to a contending team. So we'll see.
Yeah. War of Favor Super Chat goes score 70, then get blowed out the next game. That was against Buffalo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then also the Panthers, they were up 14-0 in the first quarter. It's a fair question to ask. It's a fair question. But I don't get caught up in it. Like I'm not going to this game going, well, they haven't played anybody, so I'm not going to worry about them. Like I think they legitimately can score a lot of points. I mean, Tyreek Hill's almost at 1,000 yards. It's ridiculous. They're putting up all sorts of numbers, man. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting when they get punched in the mouth and they come to Philly, how they're going to be. We're going to get into the. And thank you for the super chat. We're going to get into the. We're going to get into this whole thing in a second with the game. I just wanted to get these rumors out of the way kind of first.
True.
Just because it just seems like there's a lot going on, Do you think that there's any other position besides safety that they may look to add?
Defensive end. I mean, I don't know if they're going after linebacker. I don't know if that's the case anymore with Dean back. I don't think they go after linebacker now. I mean, an edge rusher would help. I mean, Derek Barnett has 2 tackles for the season. He got 1 tackle in the Jets game, which equals to 2 tackles for the year. Not playing Nolan Smith. I don't know what they're doing. I honestly don't. Did you see the news today on Rashad Penny, by the way? Did you see the news?
No.
So Diana Rossini said that they're going to – I think I'm not going to say speculation wise. I think speculation, there might have been some teams that maybe have called the Eagles on Rashad Penny because they haven't been using him. He's healthy, whatever. So I guess behind the scenes, Rossini found out that Howie was asked, or the front office was asked about what are they doing with Rashad Penny. And it looks like that they're keeping him for the postseason run, which are they saving him for the play? I don't get a waste of a raw. I don't get what he's here for. I don't. He doesn't even have 10 snaps for the season. I mean, it's just,
it's crazy.
What is it for?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. We're going to talk about this game. I would dress him.
Yes.
He'd be playing tomorrow. John, thank you for super chat. He goes, "Are you gentlemen against Howie possibly double dipping at safety with Reed's health?" That's interesting. Would you trade? I probably would just go one, but I got to tell you though, I like Reed Blankenship, but man, he's hurt a lot, dude. He's hurt every week. It seems like,
Yeah, it's true. And Justin Evans has been hurt every year of his career.
Evans is hurt, and then we get Sidney Brown back. But I mean, are we asking a lot of him to come in against the friggin' Dolphins?
But that's what I'm saying though. Like, I can't put too much on Sidney Brown because he hasn't played in 4 weeks. Like, what am I supposed to expect? He's supposed to come in and just, play lights out. I can't expect that. So there were people in the comment section a few days ago that were just like, well, we'll give Sidney Brown a chance. I'm like, dude, like, everybody's hurt. Like, you have to make a move because you can't trust these guys' health down the line. Like, it's not just now, it's at the end of the season, but for, December, like what are you going to do postseason wise,
Right.
So
yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Sports on 88 says Derek Barnett is a vet defensively. Play him differently versus a rookie linebacker who gets tested every play. Well, yeah, I mean, he's a defensive end and he's, he's a veteran, but he stinks. I'm sorry, but like just don't we have another defensive end that we can play? I mean, they've got to do more production and they got to do more than. Sorry, you hear me still?
Yeah, your thing cut out for a second.
A phone call coming. But I mean, there's got to be somebody on this team that can get more than 2 tackles. He stinks. I mean, I'm sorry. I know people love Derek Barnett so much because of the fumble in the Super Bowl, but he's a bust. He's a bust. And he doesn't even want to play for us. He wants to get traded anyways. So move him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get the whole thing with him. I don't know.
Yeah. Guppy says, with Buda Baker on IR, what would be the price to get him a second, maybe, or do you think he's worth first? No, I don't think first or second. I think a fourth at best. Thing with Buda Baker is he's on the IR, but he's coming off. Like, I think he was activated, right?
Yeah, he's on the practice window right now. Yeah.
So people say, who loves Barnett? I'm telling you, every time I talk about Barnett, I get it in the comment section. Well, Barnett's not a bust. Barnett was pretty good. He helped us win a Super Bowl. And I get the recovery of a fumble, but man, you can't get a free pass for the rest of your career.
This is why the Eagles, that's why after the Super Bowl, this is why the Eagles drafted horribly and they kept restructuring. They kept restructuring older guys or guys that have been bust because they were literally just awarding these guys for a Super Bowl. Like they were, it's a year-to-year league. Like you have to pay guys by the year, and they were giving they were paying too many guys. They were paying old-time vets. They were restructuring way too many guys. That's why we were in the hole that we were in for so long before we started to draft really well. So this is why, like, he's got to be gone. Like it's a waste.
What 5-star says, what up 500 Joey? What is going on with Nolan Smith? I mean, to me, from what I've heard about Nolan Smith, it's been a lot of he'll get his chance, his time is coming.
Decide, man.
But they don't really think he's ready yet. I mean, it's like let's be honest.
It's like 7 snaps a game. It's like barely. It's mostly special teams. Like that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Trade a fourth again to the Bears for Ngakoue. Are they shopping Ngakoue? I would have liked to get Ngakoue in the offseason, but
I wanted one of those guys. I wanted a bunch. I mean, Jadeveon Clowney and Leonard Floyd. I mean, all those guys are available. I want,
Yeah.
But.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next 2 weeks. I think the trade deadline's on what? It's Halloween, right?
Week
It's Halloween
9.
day. So what is it?
Week 9 is the end of the trade
Week
deadline.
9, yeah. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what the Eagles do. Now, as far as this game goes, man, this is one of those games where I think you have to run the ball. You
Really?
have to run the ball.
Really?
I mean, I say that and we laugh about it, but we've seen this team not do it. But if there's any time to run the ball, this is the game you got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they figured this out yet between who to use in red zone and putting Kenneth Gainwell in on crucial. I know how you feel about Kenneth Gainwell. You feel that the offense loses juice when Kenneth Gainwell is in the game, and I feel like with DeAndre Swift, use your best back. I mean, Swift rested last game pretty much. How many snaps did he have? I don't know how many snaps he even had last game. So I mean, he's fine.
What do you have? Do you have 8 carries or something like that? 10 carries?
14 yards. I forgot how many yards it was. It wasn't much.
Over the last few weeks, I would say since the Tampa game, they have really not tried to they haven't even committed to getting Swift going at all, And this is the game I think you got to do it. The Dolphins, their defense, they're third in sacks and they're number 1 in pressures on a quarterback. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're always up by so many points that teams have to go out and throw the ball. But you can definitely move the ball on their defense. And I think running the ball, keeping that offense off the field, long sustained drives, and then you have to capitalize in the red zone. I mean, you can't settle for field goals against Miami. You're going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, and even if they're up by points, like just say they're up by a couple touchdowns, like you cannot take your foot off the gas. And we know they're going to play off the ball. Defensively, we know they're going to do that. Okay, so I don't care what the injuries are. I don't care if they're I don't care about any of that. I don't care if they're missing, they have a backup left tackle. I don't care if Xavier Howard's still questionable. I do not care because last week was atrocious on it's really adjusting. The offense just really adjusting, but defensively, if we're up by a couple touchdowns in this game, they're going to take shots and they're going to catch the Eagles off guard. And with these safeties we have right now, makes me a little nervous at times, but we're really going to guarantee like this pass rush is going to hit home. That's what we need. Glad Slay is back. Glad Carter's back. Carter's still like the top graded defensive tackle, even missing a game, so really needed him this week. It's good without him. We were still productive without him in that second half versus the Jets, but I think with him in there now, it could definitely change it up a little bit. And Desai has talked this week about being more physical, which I did like. So, hopefully they run some stunts, we get some blitzes. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Somebody asked me, I clicked off it by accident, but there was a question if I'm going to stream the Giants-Washington game. I'm leaning towards not streaming it, but I'm not 100% on it yet. But at this point, I'm leaning towards not doing it and just being ready when the Eagles play, since it'll be a long Sunday night with the game, the post game, and then hopefully a victory cigar.
Yeah.
Now, they love to play 8-9 yards off a receiver. Do you think they play 15 yards off of Tyreek?
Maybe 20. Maybe
20 yards off of him? Because listen, I don't think that's going to work. Like Tariq, you have to at some point, in my opinion, on defense, you have to take some chances. Like I know this sounds a little crazy, and I'm not saying you do it all the time, but at times I would press Tyreek Hill and try to bump him and be physical with him off the line of scrimmage, have a safety, over the top to watch out for him, and not always do it, but pick your spots. I would try to get under his skin a little bit. I try to frustrate him. But the main thing, and the only way you're going to beat Miami, is you've got to get to Tua. They have to get pressure. And if you're 20 yards off and all Tua has to do is 2 steps, throw it to Tyreek Hill, with 20 yards of space, he's going to gain 30 yards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
He will kill you with the speed. You give him that much room, he could break it. He could break it for a touchdown. So you have to really pick your spots, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but if you don't get to him, you're done.
Yeah, there's a lot going to this game. It's not even just the game itself, but it's like we're on these Kelly Greens. You know what
Yeah.
you're representing on Sunday night, and they got the players. You know the coaches really weren't involved in a lot of stuff this week. Like the players really kept each other accountable this week, and you know we got to see what the you know getting a win on Sunday night against Miami will be big because you got 2 divisional games after that. It's not going to get easier. Like and you know got to stay healthy. That's number one, and got to get into his face. They got you said, they got to take chances. They got to sacrifice sometimes and blitz. Just rattle him, man, because I'm telling you, I've seen it. I saw it against the Giants when they got some pressure on him. He rattled a little bit through some bad passes. So
FF Explorer says Presley Hill's risky. It's true. It is very risky. It is very risky. But I just think that if you just give them the quick 2-yard pass, they'll turn those into 20, 30-yard gains with his speed. I'm not saying do it every time. I'm not saying do it every other time. I just think you have to pick your spots and you have to blitz and you have to be aggressive because otherwise they'll just kill you underneath the whole game. I mean, we give up 9 yards cushion to guys that aren't that good, and Zach Wilson's the quarterback. You give up 10 yards to Tyreek Hill, he might break it for a touchdown. Ishmael, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. He goes, look, I said it before. We a bigger back. Other teams will make moves. I know we need a safety, but let's not make the same mistake we did in Super Bowl. Get the D-line beefed up and a safety and a back. So you want 3 trades. Now, listen, I think the prize piece you could get at the trade deadline is Brian Burns. Like, to me, that would be the biggest impact. You know, so I would be all for that. And then if I'm going to go running back, I think Derrick Henry would be great. You know, I don't know how you would afford all these guys, obviously.
I know.
But I mean, we would love it. There's no question about it.
Gotta get the offense right. I mean, really just gotta get the offense right. I mean, it's just I like that's why when we signed Julio, I was like, okay, cool. But I was like, I mean, it's already enough we can't even get Dallas. Dallas Goedert's had like 1 great game this year out of every game he's played. And wide receiver 3's never involved, barely involved. We stray away from it. We strayed away from DeAndre Swift. I feel like they're focused more on getting Swift in the passing game more than anything because they're just like passing to him constantly. Which is fine. Like I'm glad that they're trying it out, but they getting Hurts into a rhythm is the number one thing, and cannot get him to throw over 40 times. It's just can't happen.
Yeah. House got Dave for super chat, my man. He goes, I got timed out on Philly's channel by a mod for regular shit talking against the Cowgirls trolls.
What?
Ain't right. Anyways, go Eagles and Phils.
That's not right.
Well, you let me know who that is, and I'll deal with it. You know, people tell me they get timed out all the time, but when I say, well, let me know who timed you out so I can check it, I don't see anything. So who timed you out, and I'll take care of it. I'm getting really fed up kind of with this whole timeout stuff and these mods and having to deal with this like every time I stream. So I might just reset the whole thing again. Danny Patterson, thank you for super chat. Goes, Desai won't bump Hill. Pound bend but don't break. Pound rest in peace by Ryan. No, I don't think he will either. I don't think he'll do that at all.
It's not going to happen at all this year. They're going to play this way all year. It's just what they're going to do all year. That's what it is.
Exactly. Chris Scott, member for 24 months. Thank you so much for your support. He goes, from Buffalo's blueprint on stopping the Miami's offense. Yeah. I mean, but will they do those things?
They're not going to. They don't play. There's no team out there that plays off the ball like us. It's just no. They're not going to take chance, especially with the safeties they have this week. It's definitely not going to happen. You got literally. You got one guy coming off of not playing 4 games, and the other and Terrell Evans is just it's not good. It's not.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Let's see here. If Howie's working the phones that much, you would imagine a trade is coming this week instead of next Tuesday. It's possible. I mean, you know, sometimes these things take a while. Sometimes, you know, you don't want to give up certain things, and they don't want to give up. You know, they don't want to take certain things, and you have to kind of play it out, and you play it till you get closer to the deadline. It's just so hard to say, you know, but I got to think that the Eagles are looking to do something. You're 5-1. I can't imagine that you don't go and be buyers. I just can't imagine that.
Yeah, true.
Justin K, thank you for the super chat. He goes, "Yo, what's up, Philly? Just got off work. How do you feel about the Dolphins game?" I feel pretty good. I mean, I feel like this is going to be a physical game. I feel like this is going to be a close game, but I do feel like there's going to be scoring in this game. And a lot of times when you think things are going to be a lot of scoring, then it tends not to be. But I think that would favor the Eagles. I do think that the Eagles have to run the ball. I think you have to get back to running the ball, keeping their offense off the field, long sustained drives, and you have to convert in the red zone. You can't be first and goal at the 5, and then next thing you know you're kicking field goals. It won't work.
Do you give Brian Johnson more respect this week if they lose by 3? If they put up a really crazy fight in this game but lose by a half a second down to the 1 second in the fourth quarter, are you going to be that down about Brian Johnson still? Or it really depends on how you lose or win. It just depends. I mean, winning, I don't care. Like if they win by a point, I don't care what I don't even give a shit. Like as long as they get the win, I don't care, because this is a tough matchup this week. But how are the Eagles? They got to dominate. I mean, it's a crazy ride, man. It's a crazy ride. We had a really bad game last weekend. Maybe it really took a loss. Like maybe we said that. Maybe the coaching staff, that it was going to change over time. Maybe that loss is going to maybe kick them in the ass a little bit, because really at the end of the day, if the cameras are not showing the sideline where we see Nick Sirianni, like I don't think I've ever seen Nick Sirianni talk to Brian Johnson or even have an argument with him, or I've never seen that, because we only see what we see on television. We're not at the game. Can't really see everything, but
yeah. Well, I really think that this game is going to tell us a lot about the offensive and defensive coordinators. I do, because a lot of times when you win, you kind of keep doing the same thing, because if it ain't broke, then don't fix it. Now that you had a loss, hopefully we'll see some changes. And I got to tell you, the one thing I would start with is I would have Rashad Penny dressed. He would be dressed tomorrow, and he would, like, first and goal at the 3. I'm putting Penny in. Franklin Davis Super Chat goes, "I don't understand the Julio pickup. Also, trading Rashad Penny would make sense since we don't use him at all. Also, congrats on 25,000 subs, Joey."
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What are you could tell him your thoughts on our trade with for what's his face?
We talking about the Julio pickup?
Yeah, the Julio pickup.
No, I mean it's just like it just, if we didn't play that, I think with a lot of Eagles fans, if we didn't play bad last week, if we actually won against the Jets, I think everybody would be on board. I think it's just so negative now because the way we lost that game, and it's like, oh, it's already enough that Brian Johnson can't get the play calling right, can't get enough of these players involved, don't know how to use players and substitutions or whatnot. Everyone was I was shocked over it. I was just like, dude, what's like maybe I understand like they have to get another receiver, because we were kind of wondering if are they going to wait until Watkins comes back? Then I kind of thought to myself, okay, is Watkins trade bait? Is he really hurt? I don't know. I mean, it could be a lot of different things, but I don't think you could trade for players that are on IR. I don't think you can.
Yeah, you can. You can now. They changed the rules. I think in I want to say 2018 or 2019. You can change. You can trade for guys on the IR.
Julio had he won't say what it is, but he had offers from other teams. And if he had offers from other teams, but were there starting jobs for him? I feel like this is more of a starting job for him, because I think with Zacchaeus, he did a lot of the dirty work for us. Then they started to get him involved just a little tiny bit. I think he's a great blocker. I think I think he's great at some aspects. I don't think he's a burner as Quez is. I think Quez is a little bit of a better burner. But with Julio, you're getting a Hall of Fame player come to the Eagles, in the slot at an old age. And he's not 5-6 years ago Julio Jones, but as not the focal point, not putting pressure on Julio. He's not the number 1. He's not the number 2, but as a number 3. And I think is a mismatch, because even watching tape from last year on Julio, Brady used a lot of crap with him, like on reverses. Like he was doing a lot last year. I don't know if Julio Jones has that vertical speed that he used to have. I'm not really sure, but I think you have a capable guy that can get separation, and I think the Eagles are looking to get him highly involved, more than we thought. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, Ishmael Davis, Super Chat goes, Hurts and the Eagles will show all the Eagles hater. One loss, we are tanking. Give me a break, please. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who say anything about us tanking.
No.
I haven't heard that, to be honest. But I mean, no, I mean, one loss is one loss. That, you know, it's not the end of the world. Bald Eagle David Super Chat goes, I don't mean to sound like a fake fan, but I'm surprised on how many people say the Eagles will win this game. I think I've seen 85% of people saying Birds. Really? Have you heard that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't seen, but I haven't spent a whole lot of time looking and seeing what people are saying about it. So I really don't know. But you know, it is what it is. Chris Kaufman, David Super Chat, he goes, I don't think Nick's gonna scream at Brian Johnson in public. Hopefully behind closed doors. Hopefully,
I mean,
double moonwalks.
Well, we took away from the press conference after the Jets game. He did say that there was, I don't know if it was Monday morning or after the game on Sunday, but I know he said that there was some play design, a few plays on play design that we have to work out or something. I think he wanted to say more than that. So just saying that, I guess, gave some attention to, you know, some of the play design hasn't been working out. I mean, I don't know how you throw 45 times and can defend this coordinator right now. I mean, I don't know. Brian Johnson, I did not like what he said this week at all. I just, no accountability unless he's just going to prove it. And
yeah, what did he say exactly? Like,
I forgot. I forgot, quote unquote, but he said something about the run pass ratio. The reason why they threw that much was to kind of get the run game going or something like that in that nature. I don't know, but it was very confusing. Like he was just trying to get away from I guess, to get crucified. I'm not sure, but all eyes are on Brian Johnson on Sunday.
Isabel Glover, I don't understand this comment. Like, I don't understand it at all. Move forward 500 and Joey from the Jets game. Have we even said a word about the Jets game? It's done behind you. Look forward to the Miami games. Joey, please tell me, what are we doing?
I mean, we're if we ever we
talk about the Jets game.
Yeah, I mean, we're just giving an example of, like, we're giving the why they're saying that is because what are the problems of the Eagles right now from last game to this game, what they have to do better. I mean, that's the whole point. Like, we could talk about what the Eagles have to do that's better when it comes to the run game, when it comes to like, this is normal. We have to go off of last game into this game.
Even if you take the Jets game out of it, they still have to be better in the red zone. You can't kick field goals against Miami and hope to win. It's not going to work. So you have to kick field goals, right? I mean, you have to score touchdowns. That has nothing to do with just the Jets game. That's all year long. You have to be able to run the ball. You know, you're going up against a probably the best offense in the league right now, most prolific offense. They can throw the ball, they can run the ball, they can score very, very quickly. They have the most dangerous wide receiver we're going to play all year. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you can say. You have to talk about what they need to do to win.
We hold this roster to a higher standard. It's not like we have JJ Arcega-Whiteside and Jalen Reagor. Like, we hold the receiver core to a higher standard. So if Devontae Smith drops a catch, we're going to be fucking pissed off. I mean, simple as that. Like, we're not last year with this defense, you know, people were telling us on every stream every week, oh, we're winning, don't worry about this defense, and Gannon was just giving life over and over and over again. Should have scored 3-4 touchdowns, should have been a big leads. We turn them into close games. And the Eagles, thank God, with the high explosive offense we had last year, Brian Johnson was given a top 3 offense on a silver platter. I mean, he's got to, you know what I mean? We said week 1, week 2, week 3. It's early. Okay. It's early. Yeah. It's early. But dude, we said, you know, once we get to the Miami game, we got to start pumping on all cylinders, and the Eagles.
Yeah, and I think they will. I think they will. I mean, I think they're going to come out fired up tomorrow. Look, I really think, you know, not that we want to talk about the Jets game, but I really think they overlooked them. I think they tried to rest Carter. I think they tried to rest Darius Slay. I think they tried to sneak that in and still come away with the win. So I expect a much more intense, much more focused team to come out, man. Crush David Super Chat goes, we Eagle fans got to admit the Cowboys are better, you are not an Eagles fan. Why do Cowboy fans always do that? I just never understood. They like to literally dress up and come on here like they're Eagle fans, but they're not. And I know this because I can't tell you how many times I've seen them in the Cowboys channel talking about their team. War David Super Chat goes, the only reason why Gainwell is in when we get in the red zone is because he's a way better blocker than Swift. But I'd still rather have Swift there.
I get it, but it's just like I understand Gainwell's a better pass protector. He can pick up blitzes better. I get that, but like you gotta sacrifice sometimes, or you have to have him in there. Like I'm just gonna put him just like when Aaron Sipos is gonna. We need Aaron Sipos here because he holds the ball better for Jake Elliott on kicks. I mean, it's just an excuse, man. Like put your best back out there. It's just, I mean, he's rested. Swift is rested last game. He barely did a damn thing in that game. So he's unleashed DeAndre Swift. I don't mind putting him in the passing game either, but unleash him. Get some screens going. Do something with him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I would just take him out. Because, he's a great pass blocker. Why is he running the ball then? Why are you giving him the ball? And having him,
you have an incapable coordinator.
2 yards.
You have an incapable offensive coordinator right now. That's what this is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
It just seems like if you got Penny, right, who's what, 220, and you put him in, and then you get first to go with the 3 with that offensive line, I think that you'll be able to score. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it is what it is,
Or use all your backs. I mean, do that at least instead of making Gainwell just for red zone and this one just for that. Like it's making us like I feel like defenses know what we're doing when you have Gainwell in at certain times. Like, I think we dealt with that the early beginning of the season where we didn't even use Swift the first game. Like there was just a lot of questions about how they use these running backs.
Yeah. Says, and I see there's something going on. I don't know exactly what it is about spamming. Well, my rules with spamming are this, and sometimes I think maybe I don't explain it good enough. But like if somebody's asking a question and I'm not seeing it, it's okay that they ask it again. When it's like when it's super like every 2 seconds, boom, 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 or they come in and they're promoting like the streamline things, and to me that's all spam. But you guys know, I mean, there's a difference between somebody asking the same question and I'm not seeing it, and like overt spam. I don't want to run people out of here because of that. DM says we won one Super Bowl and these dudes expect perfection. I don't know what dudes.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know who the hell he's talking about. The Eagles. I mean, listen. I think at the end of the day, I think they're going to win tomorrow. I picked them to win. I think they will win. But I think it's a game where you got to be at your best. You've got to have your best game of the season this week. And to me, the 2 things that you have to do on offense, you have to run the ball. And on defense, you have to get to Tua. If you don't get to Tua, you're going to have a problem.
No, it's true. Gotta have a pass rush this week.
RPF says, I meant to say the playoffs is what the Eagles are saving Penny for. Why?
That's what they said. That's what Diana Rossini said.
But how do you know by the time you get to the playoffs? How do you know he's worth using at that point?
Well, yeah, well, they haven't used it. Like, how is he supposed to have chemistry with the offense and how? I mean, I don't know. How is he? Maybe it's different with a running back. I don't know. Is it different? I mean, he's got to get like football ready, like get into a game, take some hits. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. LeBron Roger, thank you for super chat. Goes, Eagles need to trade for Jalen Mills ASAP.
Nah.
I'll take Jalen Mills over Stephon Gilmore, at 80 years old? Troy Singleton says, I definitely believe we are going to win. I believe we're going to win tomorrow, too. I believe it'll be our most complete game. I think that the Eagles will get the running game going. I think Swift will have a big game. I also think on the running the ball, I think Hurts will have a big game. I think it's going to be crazy loud. People are going to be hyped with Kelly Green. And I think it'll be a great game. I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game, though. I don't think this is a 17-10 game, 27. I think this is like 34-31 shootout. I really do. You know,
Yeah.
let's see. Yeah, you got to take away his first read. That's right. Um, you got to get pressure. I think you need to blitz, and I think Jalen Carter, man, you need him. You need him to have a big game. Those guys, especially up the middle, if they can get penetration, it'll be huge for them.
True.
Huge penetration.
Jalen Carter might be his game.
Right. Exactly. Let's see. Imagine we get to the playoffs and they finally use Penny and he's trash, and that's the reason why we lose. I can see the Philly 500 meltdown now. I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't sound to me when I hear that. Oh well, we're saving this guy for the playoffs, or like, to me, I don't buy that. I never buy that, because you got to win the games every week. That's up. You can't tell me that Rashad Penny can't help us right now. He can.
They just don't use him.
Yeah. Defense shouldn't be giving up more than 17 points. That's pretty tough. I mean, against Miami, who can score like that, and one other thing about Miami is they got a really good running game. Their running game is actually underrated. Mostert is pretty good. A-Chain is out, but Mostert still can run the ball. And the thing about it is you don't hear a lot about their running game because their passing game is so good. But I think you have to worry about the run game too. And I'm not as worried about that because we have done such a great job,
True. They just got to do it.
500 is your milestone chat down. I don't know. You know what? I honestly, I don't
What's
know.
that? What's milestone
For
chat?
the memberships, your channel memberships, they give you a like a whole milestone thing. We got
Oh.
we got almost 600 people in the chat. If you guys are new, hit that like. Make sure you subscribe. If you're in my channel, click the link. Go sub up my man Joey Shakes. You definitely won't want to miss out on what he's got to say, especially after we win tomorrow. These umps are dog water. I can't see everything that's going on. Lon says, got to make Tua doubt himself on his reads. I agree. I think, like, what percentage would you blitz this guy tomorrow? Like, would you be bringing a lot of heat at him?
I'd go like 25, 26. I'd go a little extra.
Yeah.
And another thing too, like Vic Fangio, man, he was in the Eagles building all year last year. That's a big one. Like, and
Right.
Sean Desai was a defensive quality control guy under Fangio when Fangio was the DC in Chicago. So, he knows our players really well. He was just here last year. Vic Fangio probably should have been our defensive coordinator at this point.
Oh yeah,
So,
you could thank the Cardinals
piece of
and what's this, Jonathan Gannon. Absolutely. Yeah, he does know us well. He knows how we think and what we do. So that's going to be tested. But I think with Lane Johnson back, because let's face it, that's such a huge thing. Lane Johnson changes everything, in my opinion, on the offense. So I feel pretty good with it. But if we could come out, let's say like opening drive, and let's say you could get like a 7-8 minute sustained drive, go down, score touchdown. I think that's exactly what you want to happen, And I think if you hit, don't wait till the second half to start hitting to it. Hit Tua early. You hit him early. You rattle him early. You throw him off his game. I think he'll turn the ball over.
Yeah, I think so.
Antonio says, yes, blitz the hell out of him. You got to. I think you have to get whatchamacallit at him. Young boy says the respect the size shows towards quarterbacks with getting beat through the pass game. This is going to be a nightmare with soft cover. It will, because Waddle and Tyreek Hill can catch a 2-yard ball and take it 80 yards at any time. So if you're too far off, they're going to kill you underneath. If you're too far up, they can beat you long. It's just a very dangerous thing. The only way to really neutralize it is you got to take out the quarterback. So I think you got to blitz,
Yeah, Yeah, and to be honest with you, like I even from last game to this game, like I thought even the second half of last game, I thought they got the offense the ball plenty of times in the second half. The defense made stops. Like I know the defensive line, I'm not really worried about. It's obviously the off ball coverage, but the offense has got to it's got to produce. Like it's got to like even if they have we've seen games where they have a good drive in the beginning, they have a first drive. Then once Miami starts to adjust, that's when we don't adjust back. That's what I'm saying. Like it's the beginning of those games where we drive down the ball. That was easy, scored, easy touchdown. And then Miami starts to adjust and we stay the same. And that's the biggest problem I have with Brian Johnson. It's the adjustments. 100%.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Linda says, Atmar Sr., Eagles got to establish the run and keep their wideouts off the field and dominate with time of possession. That should be the plan. If you try and pass within, the Eagles will lose. It's going to be tough because they can score so quickly. I mean, we could score pretty quickly too. But they've been hitting on all cylinders. I do think you win this game at the line of scrimmage on both sides. If the Eagles line of scrimmage or offensive defensive line wear out Miami, I think they win, I think they win. And listen, you're playing in Philly. It's Sunday Night Football. You're not playing in Miami. This is a big home field advantage for us. If we win this game, to me, there's nobody that we can't beat in the NFL.
It's true.
Twitterville says 500 with the game tomorrow being a dinner hour game. Are you going to have to pull Mark Holmes and eat on cam? No, I won't. I'll be starving. I won't probably eat until after I smoke my cigar video. So I probably won't eat till like 1 o'clock in the morning. Bald Eagle David Super Chat goes, when we win, everyone will say Miami's overrated. Oh yeah. You know that's gonna happen. That always happens, man. Every time we win, it's not as good as it should be. Every time we lose to the most horrible team. I mean, the Cowboy fans actually had the balls to try to say the Jets were the worst team in the league when they literally lost to the worst team in the league. It's funny how they try to change things up, Fabio, thank you for Super Chat. Goes, defensive coordinator needs a disguise coverage defense to confuse Tua. That would be very interesting. I actually think the last 2 weeks in the second half has done a really good job. True. It just took them a while to adjust. I hope that they come out and, they get at Tua early,
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah. And anybody, I forget, I think it was Joel said, where's his milestone thing or his little trophy thing? I don't know why those things aren't showing up for you. It should. I have no control over that.
He probably has to it probably has to renew it. It's probably what happened.
Yeah, so I have no control over that. John Jones says, going into next year's draft, we need a cornerback and a safety because Slay is getting older plus. Yeah, and don't forget, I think you need a right tackle. You're going to need a right tackle for the future too. So, Yeah,
I mean, if Driscoll's if no one else has really done anything else, besides, we don't have Cam Jurgens out right now, but I mean, Tyler Steen, we got to see where he's going to be at by next season. Where he's going to play. It depends if Kelsey retires. That's going to be another big question next offseason anyway. So
true. William says, no, we need tight pressure. Just slow them up enough to get to it before he can get it off. Run swift, kill the clock, throw screens, and plenty of blitzes. See, I tend to agree with you a little bit. I know the instinct is to play really far off Tyreek Hill. I get it. But, and I'm not saying at times you don't do that. You do. There are times. I think you got to mix it up. But, if you're 10, 12 yards off of him, and all they have to do is take the snap, 1-2 step back, throw it to Tyreek Hill for 3 yards, he's going to get 10 yards, at the very least, every time. So I think you press, I think you blitz, you get to Tua, and you try to get to him before he can throw. And there'll be times where he takes shots downfields, and they may get some big plays. But if you can get to him more than he can do that, I think you win.
Yeah, they're going to give up yards. I mean, it's going to it happens every week. I think the Eagles are ranked second worst in the league, and I think yards given up defensively. I think it's
I want to say it's 26th. something. It's like something like that. The Dolphins aren't that good either. Their corners give up. They give up like over 100 something quarterback rating to wide receivers. And one thing we have to mention about this game is Xavier Howard is got a groin. That may be a major problem for them. It's already hard enough to deal with AJ Brown, but you have a groin, something that could flare up at any time. May be something to keep an eye on in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I know people are been kind of going back really since the videos that have been coming out and the things that Eagle fans have been saying, just like this, like the first year where like we've seen like the receivers have issues or that they're being divas or they're having issues with Hurts so-called or something like that. And AJ Brown's having a fantastic year. And I think people are like, well, they're not throwing to Devontae Smith the whole entire year. And I understand they have to distribute the ball. I get it, but you're not going to have games where you're going to have both these receivers do well. You might have, Devontae Smith might have, 60 yards and AJ Brown might have 125, 130 yards. It's going to happen, but we'll see. I mean,
yeah. Alan says Miami's tackles are really good. The Lamb is ranked number 1 in the NFL pass block win rate, and their backups. But what you can get, I believe you can get pressure up the middle. You could get pressure with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. And I think, listen, the way Hassan Reddick has played, and he's gone off lately, but you're going to have to bring pressure, and we'll see how they play early. I mean, there's two ways I guess you could look at it. You could take the chances, you could try to get the quarterback, or you can say, you know what, we're not worried about the yards between the 20s. We're going to just not give up touchdowns. It totally is, what you think the best way is. To me, I think, for me personally, I think you got to get to Tua early, hit him, rattle him, get him off his game, get him worried about what's going on in the pocket. And I think you could throw him off the whole game.
Yeah, and I think that the Eagles this is the best offensive line and defensive line that Miami's faced all year. I think the Eagles are better in the trenches. I think that Miami's good, but I think the Eagles are much better and have depth.
I agree. I think that's where the Eagles win this game at the end is the offensive and defensive line. Now, last week against the Jets, I think Lane Johnson going out was such a big loss for us,
Man.
But to get him back is great. It's gonna be really interesting to me to see how we respond. Truth Addiction says 500. I don't think any team can come into South Philly on a cold, dark night and win. Plus, Jalen has a score to settle with Tua. 33-24. What do you think? And I agree. It's very hard to beat Philly Sunday night in Philly. It's going to be. What are your thoughts about the whole Tua Jalen Hurts rivalry type thing?
I think it's a storyline, no doubt. I think it definitely goes into this game. They're probably going to talk about it before the game. There'll probably be a little trailer, or they'll talk about it. But is Hurts taking it to heart? I don't think he forgets. You know what I mean? I think there's always something there. It's just like when a player plays his former team, when they say, oh, it's not a big, they always circle that game on the calendar. I think this is a game, not that he circled it on the calendar, but I think there's a little bit more meaning to it. And deep inside, he won't say it, but I think a little deep inside, a lot of these players know each other. Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith are very good friends. Like there's a lot of Alabama connections on both sides of the ball here going into this game. So,
yeah. I don't know. My gut feeling about this game is I have two. I have one. I think it's one of those games that is going to be back and forth. And then there's another part of me. I really feel like that this is going to be a big game for the defensive line. Like I think Tua is going to have a lot of problems in this game. I can't wait to see those Kelly Greens tomorrow, man. I am so excited.
Do you see the field? The field looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks so that you can't tell me that logo does not look so much better than the current one. It just does.
Oh, by the way, Devin Achane's not playing either.
Yeah, Achane's out, and he's a hell of a player.
Yeah,
and that helps. Yeah. Torteville says the bottom line tomorrow is you have to get touchdowns in the red zone. See, yep. If we settle for field goals, we're going to lose by 10 or more. Red zone needs to be great tomorrow. Yeah, I would say my 3 keys of victory are you got to run the ball, You got to get to Tua, and you have to convert in the red zone. If you do those three things, you will win this game.
True.
You know? If you could get to Tua, you beat the Dolphins. Agreed. The question about getting to Tua is how aggressive do you want to be? Are you going to come out and rely on your front, or are you going to bring the blitzes? And when you do blitz, are you going to take the chance to come up and maybe, hit Tyreek Hill and Waddle off the line of scrimmage, hoping to hold them up enough to get to Tua? Are you willing to go that far? I would love to see them disguise blitzes and stuff, bring cornerback blitzes, bring different things that Tua doesn't see coming. I really would, because I think if you can rattle Tua early, and if you could take that first read from him, because if you watch some of his games, he stares down Tyreek Hill. He just waits.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen it.
Waits and waits, and you take that away from him, I think you got him.
He looks robotic sometimes. He does. He definitely looks robotic at times.
Bald Eagle, thank you for the super chat. He goes, it's A-Chain. Put some respect on his name. I think he's talking to you, not me.
Bro, this is the same dude that says this shit every time. Every time he says this shit with these fucking names all the time. God, get a life, dude. Get a life.
What did you say?
Go touch some grass. I don't know. Like this is the same dude that does this crap every time we say a person. I say everybody's name wrong. I'm sorry. It just happens.
Oh, I'm the worst.
I
like when it's like when they say it and it's like Nelson.
It's not
Aguilar
Kylie. It's Keely. Put respect on the.
I like when they're like
on his name.
Nelson Aguilar. Put some respect on the name. Yeah, right. He put shit on that name.
Oh my God.
Linda says, ask yourself if there was a defensive tackle on a defensive end group that could get to Tua, who would it be? If you were compelled to tell the truth, you would say the Eagles defensive line. I would say the Eagles defensive line and also the 49ers. Those would be two teams where I would think their defensive line could give the Miami Dolphins problems, I didn't get a chance to go watch the Buffalo game with Miami, but I do want to look at that game,
True.
But Buffalo sacked Tua 4 times, and I'm willing to bet they came at him with blitzes too, because knowing McDermott coming off the Jim Johnson tree, that's what he's going to do. You know what I mean? If you take away Hurts' first read, is he good? Yeah, I think so. I think he is.
Yeah, he's proved it a bunch of times.
Yeah. So I only have 181 likes in this chat. Can you believe that? I got 487 people and 181 likes. People must not like me today. Well, that's why I ain't streaming the game tomorrow. But the Giants game. But yeah, hit that like button if you haven't. Make sure you subscribe. RPF's in the house. 500. Like you, I remember seeing the Eagles and Kelly Green in the late 80s. I like it, but unfortunately never won a Super Bowl with that version of Kelly Green. I prefer 60s Eagles Kelly Green. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this. What I want to see the Eagles do is I want to see the Eagles update their jerseys. And I want to see them go back to green home, white helmets on the road, and then black-green as your alternate. So that would be kind of like the 60s in that that's what they used to do. I would love to see that. 500, do you think the receding hairline is? Yes, I think it's a huge factor. Christina Laurie, who's still part owner of the team, doesn't like the Kelly Green, so that's why they changed it. It will never change back unless she's not part owner anymore. Does she like the color green of money? Because let me tell you, merchandise-wise, Kelly Green
is it outselling like
better.
Is it outselling?
Selling everything. It's breaking records, dude. It's breaking records. Yeah, I think so. Modernized. I want to see the jerseys modernized. Whether they go to Kelly Green or keep Midnight Green, I think they need to fix up. I think it's coming this whole season. That's my prediction. Kelly Green won 3 championships. What are you talking about? Bald Eagle, David Super Chat goes, I was making fun of the person who corrects you. Oh, he's not making fun of you. See? He was making fun of the people that correct you. At 500, you got a lot of trolls in here tonight. They are just sitting back with the Eagles, on their mind. Eagles own real estate in Dallas Cowboy fans' minds. Yeah, that's because they're trying to make up for last week when they were invisible and we didn't see them. And I think also you got a lot of Eagle fans that are actually watching the Phillies game tonight, which I don't blame any of them for that, So I think that's why. Let's see. These people act like the color was the blame. Go back to Sesame Street. Yeah, the color has nothing to do with it. That's not why they lost or won, I agree. I like both, but the Kelly Green needs a modernized upgrade, rework on the logo and design. Stay true to the logo. Yeah, I agree. It needs to be modernized. Like on the helmet, I love the color, but I would make the wings pop a little more. I don't know if you'd have to put a little black in it, but I would have those wings popping out a little more. And then I've showed you guys, you could see above Joey, I think you need a white helmet on the road.
Yeah,
like that.
Great.
I
Yeah.
think that would be fantastic. And then the alternate is, well, I'll show you guys. I think I have a picture. Would be something like this. That would be your alternate. Something like that. They need to modernize it.
Something fresh, something new.
Something fresh, yeah, because they haven't really changed it since the 90s, But the color jersey isn't what, the jersey isn't what makes you win or lose. It's not why. 2020 Vision says Hurts needs to win over to a redemption moment in the Hurts future. I think he's going to win. I think the Eagles, we talk a lot about, people think we talk about the problems, but you're right. We're not talking about the problem. We're just talking about what you've got to do to win. And I think they're going to win. I think they're going to play their best game. I think that the link is going to be insane.
Rocking.
I think it's going to be a very special night. Reggie White's son is the honorary captain.
Oh, yeah.
And I when I think of Kelly Green, and I know RPF is in here, he thinks of it. I think of the House of Pain game. I think of the body bag game. I want to see that I want to see that on Tua. I think I have a feeling that the offense and defensive line are going to dominate the Dolphins tomorrow. I do. Yeah. And I have a feeling that Tyreek Hill at some point is going to have a little tirade and he's going to get frustrated. Just the feeling,
No, it's just with me going to this game, I think there's a good chance they could win because I think it's any given Sunday. I always think that every week because I see teams that have looked good one game, struggled in the next game, don't play up to their standard, consistently. And I don't think within the whole NFL right now, I don't think any team is really playing that consistently. I can't, when it comes, maybe the 49ers or whatever. I mean, it just depends who you're facing every week, but it comes down to the trenches in this game, the defensive line, getting Jalen Carter back, getting pressure on Tua. They still got Mostert. They got a running back behind there. I mean, it's not a chain or anything like that, but I'm really focused on Brian Johnson in this game. Really, I'm not even worried about the defense. I know the defense is going to give up yards. The underneath route might be open a lot of times. It's going to happen. But Brian Johnson getting Hurts into a rhythm and looking like a complete offense would be nice. And I'm hoping we get that.
Is this Devontae Smith's breakout game, man?
We say this every week.
Listen, I really, I got to hold Devontae accountable because if he catches that ball,
I know.
mean, he has, that's like a 20, 30-yard gain. He might have turned it upfield. He might have gone for a touchdown. I don't know. He would have had big yards. You can't drop that,
And the one that Quez in the third down, they were at midfield. When he threw over Quez Watkins when he was not even the touchdown. I mean, not even the Rams game, but I'm just saying the one he was midfield, he was wide open. There's I'm not going to break down Hurts. I'm not going to go crazy on Hurts if he miss, I get it. It's going to happen. With pressure in his face or whatever. I want to ask you this, what do you think? Do you think Hurts bails too much? Do you think that he tries to stay in the pocket for as long as he can, to kind of let, the receivers kind of, run their routes and kind of get open? Do you think there's, he bails, too much or what? I don't know what you think about that.
I think they've actually trying to keep him in the pocket more. And I think they should do a little more rollouts and stuff like that with him. Like the third down play through the interception. Obviously you can't throw that play, but why would you make that call? Okay. If you're going to make a call there, you probably should just run the ball. But even if you want to pass the ball, right? Why would you keep him in the pocket like that? Wouldn't you roll him out? Have like a tight end or somebody coming across the field. And if he either has a choice of an easy throw for first down, or I'm going to keep it, try to run and get it. And if I can't with my feet, I'm going down and punting. Like they put him in a position where he was stuck in the pocket and he made a bad pass. He shouldn't have thrown it. But like, I just don't think that some of the things they've done with him has put him in the best situation, and I think some of that he doesn't feel comfortable with. That's just my opinion. King of Philly says House Nelson all wear jerseys in reverse. That's why you have a bit. Yeah, the Cowboys have this. They have this thing where it's good luck for them to wear their white jerseys all the
white
time.
on white.
Yeah, so they wear their home and aways all the time. It's the ugliest jersey in the world. Their blue ones are so much better, and they haven't won in 30 years. It's not working. Brooks, thank you for Super Chat. Goes, I feel like Vic Fangio could be our kryptonite in this game. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I think Vic Fangio knows what the Eagles are going to do. I think he has a pretty good idea. However, I think stopping it is going to be too hard because I think with that offensive line, especially if they come out running the ball, I just don't think Miami can. I don't think Miami can stop them. You know what I mean?
True.
So we'll see. Do I think uniforms is what works? No, but I just think that it's ugly. Every week they wear the white jerseys, which are just boring and ugly Cowboy jerseys. It's like, dude, it looks ugly. I like my team to at least look good there. You could at least look good doing whatever you're doing. The white jersey is not beautiful at all. It's horrible.
Yeah, I hate them.
You all haven't won 30 years, but we all won. But you haven't won in 30 years. What is we just won one in 2017. That's all I know. Joseph Dean, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, Hurts will have the best game of his career. I think Hurts is going to have a really good game. The one thing about Hurts is that every time there's been something where he's thrown interceptions or he's had a semi not good game, he's always rebounded, Joey. Always. And I expect him to do it again.
Yeah, he's never really had consistent bad games. Like you're not going to see a game with 4 turnovers. Like you're not going to see a game like that. Like last week was just I mean, it affected everybody. Even Jake Elliott missed a kick. What happened?
He big shot, but middle of the field they got an out. I thought it was going to be a home run at first off his bat, but if it was in Philly, it's probably a home run. Warvate, man, thank you so much for the Super Chat, my man. I appreciate that, man. We both appreciate that so much. Because Joey, he was indecisive and can tell at some of the play calling too. Yeah, that's what I think. The second interception, he had a lot of time to throw. Though later in the game, he started getting jumpy. He has to step up in the pocket at times, and he will be fine. I agree with that. The second interception was, he's saying he held the ball too long. When he threw the ball, remember his arm got hit, the ball went up.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
That's what it is. I mean, but the last one was just bad. It was really bad.
You take a sack or kick a punt. I mean, you punt the ball or take a sack, you're wasting a lot more time.
Yeah,
and you got
to they have to talk about the situation. Whatever you do, don't force the ball. Don't turn it over. Take a sack. We'll live. There was no way that Zach Wilson, with the way we were playing in the second half, I don't think he was moving downfield to kick a field goal. He wasn't winning that game.
No.
And thank you again for Super Chat.
Thank you.
Let's see. Fred says, as a Cowboys fan, the truth is we're really insecure and desperate to be liked. We want people to stop laughing at us joking every year. We actually tough because we feel pretty weak. I love this Cowboy fan, Fred. I don't believe he's a Cowboy fan, but I really like you, Fred. Fred, I like you. It's awesome. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm trying to think, is there any player in this game that a guy that you think is going to be important, have a big game that we're not thinking about besides
the usuals?
Yeah, like, is there anybody you're looking to and going, man, I think this might be one of his games?
I don't know. I'm gonna say Nicholas Morrow. I'm gonna say he's gonna hit the gap really well, and he's gonna have a. I'm not saying he's gonna have a Pro Bowl like game like he did a few weeks ago, but it could be as good as that. But I think linebackers will step up. I think Morrow will step up this week. Play downhill.
I love it.
I think
I'm going to go with the guy that that hasn't really done a whole lot this year. I think James Bradbury. Who? Who? Derek Barnett? No. James Bradbury. I think Bradbury has a big interception tomorrow, dude. I have a feeling this is going to be a James Bradbury game. I don't know why. I feel like he's going to have a big game. I think Jalen Carter is going to have a monster game. I mean,
yeah, that's the number because even if Jalen Carter's not getting, he doesn't need the sack numbers because what he's just so disruptive. It's going to make everybody just like every time. Remember, we've been saying every time they blitz with the linebackers when Carter's in there, it's like a play is always made in the backfield almost every time. But anybody that's next to Carter in that defensive line, he's so disruptive. It's going to help somebody else make a play.
Yeah,
that's how much of a difference he is.
Yeah, proud of him for expressing. Yeah, we are very proud of you, Fred. Fred, man, that took balls to come in here and say that. Fred is the Cowboys MVP.
But we have to look at this too because I think we could believe with the Eagles secondary, especially with big play Slay, is that they're not shadowing him. They're not going to do that. I think we already know that's just not. They line them. They just keep them on the same side, and Tyreek is going to move all over the place. And you got a track star offense. So
dude, watch Derek Barnett have like 4 sacks tomorrow.
Yo, good. I mean, look, like I want him to succeed. I want him to succeed.
I do too. I do too. I do too. I do think Hassan Reddick's going to continue on a tear, dude. We talk. He's a streaky guy. He just is. They come in bunches. Man, what do you think about the special team situation? Will our boy Covey do something tomorrow or what?
I hope. I mean, look, I would love to get a touchdown this year, but so far, really, last game, we keep talking about last game, but I'm just saying, I think he's had a good year so far. I think the protection's been good. I think he's been smart. There were times where, maybe a time, even last game, I think there one where he probably just should let it bounce, just depending where he is. But if it's inside the 10, just let it bounce. No, I'm hoping so. I mean, Jake Elliott obviously had a bad, he missed a kick last game, but everybody was off, man. It was way too much. Way too much was going on. So,
yeah. I agree. Fabio, thank you for the super chat. Goes, what about special teams? Here we go. We just talked about it. I would like to see also Devin Allen back there on kick returns.
just let it go.
I mean, that's all dude, I don't think they ran one out last week, right?
No. I mean, especially because Quez was gone. Now that Julio's here, he ain't hitting the field. He's not even going to be on the active roster anymore. So
yeah. Ted says the field looks awesome with the Eagles on your field. It does. It really looks great. It really does. All right. So now the big question is,
boom.
What's your score prediction for tomorrow?
I think it's going to be really close. 31-28 Eagles.
31-28.
I think it's going to be really close.
That's close, man. Yeah, I think it's going to be close too. I got Eagles 34. I got Miami 31. I think it's a shootout, dude. I think it's going to be back and forth, and I feel like at the end the Eagles are going to be in a situation where they're up 3, and there's about 7 minutes left in the game, and they're going to go to work, and they're going to run the ball, and run the clock out. That's how I think this game's going to go. But I got the Eagles winning. You got the Eagles winning. And that would be a huge victory, man. It'll be a huge win for us. Yeah. Not that from the standpoint of like tiebreakers and stuff, it's actually a game that you're better off losing. You're better off to lose this game than versus Washington, versus Dallas, versus an NFC team because it's out of conference. But I think from like an emotional standpoint, I think from seeing where this team is at, I think it's a big mental victory for the Eagles.
Yeah, and you're home. You're home, and that's a good thing. If they were playing Miami, the Eagles travel well, but I'm glad this is home. I'm glad there's a lot going on in this game personally, storyline wise, and they really the players are pissed off. They didn't play up to standards. So
yeah, exactly. Philly Special Show, shout out to you.
What's up, man?
Thank you for coming in. He says, what's up, fellas? Can't wait for Kelly Green's 27-24 birds. I love it. I would be very happy. If the Eagles hold them to 24 points, I'm going to be really happy, man.
Mhm.
Yes, Jan, go Phillies is right. Truth is, Philly, if we lose this game, it will be because our secondary and play calling. Most likely, yeah. Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
I really expect to see some things different. I want to see what changes they make after the loss, because I really believe this. I really believe that a lot of the things that we've been talking about, is going to bite you, that we need to fix. I think when they win, they're less likely to fix it. And I really think they thought they were going to pull a slick one last week and sit some guys like Slay and Carter and get a win versus the Jets and then be ready for this big Sunday night game. I really think that, dude.
Yeah, they overlooked and they were like, let's rest some guys. We should be fine. I think that's what they did. Yeah.
I think they overlooked the Jets. I don't want to take anything away from the Jets, but I think they did. Rogue says, it's my birthday tomorrow. I turned 42, so the Eagles will win, score 42 points on Miami 24.
Damn.
Dude, if they score 42-24 on your birthday, you hit me up. We will get you. I will buy you personally a Kelly Green jersey, your choice.
Hell
if
yeah.
that score comes out 42-24, I'm sending you a birthday present. Troy says, 5,500, the hat is nice. I got some sweet gear from Mitchell and Ness store and the Eagles Pro Shop today. That's cool. I love Mitchell and Ness's stuff. I do. I really do. So, yeah, it should be an interesting game. You'll be streaming, I assume, Joey, tomorrow?
Yes.
Joey will be streaming. I will be streaming. I might stream the Giants-Washington game. It depends. It'll depend what time I get up. I might sleep in tomorrow. But I'll definitely be doing the Eagles game, and I'll be doing the Monday night game, Niners-Vikings, which will be a joke because the Vikings can't win on prime time. So it is what it is. But, is there anything else you want to say, man? I'm about to take my daughter to a haunted house.
Nice.
Tonight. Yeah, she's going to a haunted house.
Yeah, I'm just I really want to. We really need this tomorrow. I mean, I don't care how they win. I'm not looking to, like, if they could score a few touchdowns and they could be in a big lead, then great. If it's a close game, it's a close game. I just want to see the toughness. I want to see them. How are they going to respond tomorrow night? That's the question. You're home and there's a lot going for this game right now. And if you win this game, it puts the Eagles back on the map. And I think everyone starts talking, maybe if they don't, give excuses for Miami losing this game, but I'm praying, I feel good, but Brian Johnson is the only thing on my mind right now going into this game. Really, this offense has got to score points. It's got to score points.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I think so too. It should be a great game tomorrow, man. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very to me it's almost like the Eagles haven't played in 30 years because I get to see the real jerseys.
Ooh.
And I've been waiting for it. So it's going to be cool, man. It's a long time coming. I hope that they take care of business tomorrow and beat Miami.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be great. But yeah, guys, I guess that's pretty much it. We're getting ready to get out of here. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great night.
Yeah.
No, we will definitely see you tomorrow. And as always, go Birds. Peace. We out. Bye. See you later. Gotta go. We out of here. Sayonara, mother humpers. Sayonara.
He's out.
Peace.
We had one.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking
You
kidding
gotta
me.
be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
What you doing?
running from
What you doing?
To get off the field on third down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Kellen Moore, he's got to be better, man. He wasn't.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had no time for one more
He
play.
had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us.
Way, but,
The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed
it is what it
us.
is, man.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
Yeah,
in that way.
you
The
literally.
brother screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end the way.
We had one bad opportunity.